And good evening, and welcome to Hub City Deli, where tonight you have the privilege of listening to one of the greatest shows there is. It is the Jackson Christian Football Recap Show, co-hosted with Coach Brian Bullard. I'm Coach Joe Holloway, and Coach, it's all in your lap right now.
Coach, we are happy to be here again here at Hub City Deli. And we've been trying to get him on, and the kids have been talking about him, and we got Coach Irvin with us tonight. He's our coach that's here, and Coach Irv, earlier he said he just coaches running backs and does strength and conditioning, but there's so much that goes into that, and I'm not going to take too much away from him, but he does a tremendous job with our student athletes, not just our football guys. Anybody that wants to work out is welcome in our weight room, and that's what he cares about doing, along with making our running backs, giving them the best possible chance to succeed on Friday night. So he does running backs, he does strength conditioning, and his resume speaks for himself. So I'm gonna let you talk, ask him a few questions, and maybe I'll come up with something for him tonight, Coach.
And before we go to Coach Irvin, I want you to tell them, so they can hold on, we've got two very special young men with us tonight.
Yes, sir. We have Campbell Scott with us tonight, back returning from one of our early shows, and one of Coach Irv's running backs, and then we got the dog with us tonight.
Oh, I know.
So
I love that dog.
I knew you would like that today when I text you.
Yeah, who let the dogs out?
We got Caleb Newsom. He hadn't been on yet, and he's a guy that we want to get in front of the people and let them know who he is, and more than just the dog linebacker for us.
I like see him. He's over there smiling.
Yeah, he already knows we're talking about him. So.
He's a happy guy. Well, I'll tell you what. Well, let's just start in on Coach Irv, but we're going to make him go back. Give us your school history now, and I'm talking about further back than high school. We want people. We've got the superstar in rent-a-car here tonight. We've been trying to get him on, and we're not going to let him sell you any wolf cookies tonight. We're going to make him confess up. Where'd you go to elementary school, junior high, and high school?
Oh, my goodness. Actually, I went to Oak Elementary, which was in Memphis. Then I went to Appling Middle School, and then went to Bolton High School. Then I ended up here in Jackson at Lambeth University. And from there, man, I was able to continue to play football, and I graduated with a degree in business management, and my minor was in computer information systems. So, man, I've enjoyed every moment of it, and I've been blessed to be able to accomplish the things that I have and play a sport that I love for as long as I was able to. So,
how did you get into weights, though, with a degree like that? Man, this guy, he must love football and kids in Jackson Christian, because he could be making boatloads of money and working like 9 to 3 o'clock and go home and put the sunglasses and shades on and style and profile. How did you get into coaching weights? And we know how you got into backs, because, folks, he's too modest. He's one of the greatest running backs in Lambeth history, and don't let him tell you anything else.
You're going too far.
All right, in there, everybody just got the only competition you got is JoJo Jones.
Oh, look, I tried my best. That's all I can say.
He did great, but how did you get into this?
Man, I love the work ethic that was involved with lifting weights. Always knew that there was some benefit, and there was always some measure of how hard you could work, and you could get that from the weight room. And plus, it never hurts to have a little bit of muscle. And, man, I loved it, and I realized a little bit too late that it was something that I wanted to pursue. I wish I would have done it in college, but I mean, I'm able to do it now, and I'm thankful for it. So that's about it.
So tell us, give us just a glimpse into the daily workout for one of our athletes. What are they going to go through when they come down to our field house during the day?
Of course, if they change up top in the gym, they'll jog down, and that'll essentially start their warm-up. If they come down to the field house like our football players, they'll jog to what we affectionately call the speed bump and back. From there, they'll go into a dynamic warm-up, and then we'll also go into a series of injury prevention for the areas that we're working that day, whether it be shoulders or legs or anything along those lines, because, man, the game has changed. You have to have some kind of injury prevention to focus on certain areas so your athletes can be durable and last and, I guess, endure through all the rigors of the game. Then from there, they'll go ahead and get into their first couple sets of their main exercises, and then we'll break it down with a few auxiliaries and sport-specific workouts. Like I try my best to make workouts for each and every group of sports. It's not just one workout for everyone. It's individual workouts for each and every team that we have. and then from there we'll always go through some kind of static stretching to elongate the muscles at the end. And then, man, with the remaining time, and they jog back up, get changed, and they move on.
And it has to be efficient because we don't have hour and a half block to get them in there. You know, it's a 45-minute block that they have. And I never realized, you know, in high school we worked out, but it was always we'd go in and just a broad workout for whatever sport it was. And I love to see how much he specializes with our different athletes and even the girls that are involved in the class. And, you know, he makes it fun. And I'm glad he's with us. And,
I am too, because he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Besides the ringing endorsements that he gets from the athletes, you can tell what he's done with it. Because I remember when Tacker Nash, and I've known Tacker probably longer than anybody on the team except for Gage Boykin, and Tacker was a little pudgy at one time. I wouldn't get in a fight with Tacker right now. What in the world have you done to Tacker?
Yeah, don't say what I've done. I mean, it's what he's done. I mean, I put information out there, and I give the kids information, and I try to give them advice on certain things to do. But essentially, it's up to them to do it. And luckily, one of the reasons my job is probably one of the funnest jobs on campus is because the kids come down and work. They come down, and they're excited about lifting weights. They listen. They ask questions. I answer them, and then they're like, oh, all right. So, man, every day they come down and they get to it.
Coach Irv's being a little modest about what he does, because I happen to sit at the ball games, and some Saturday nights, Bill Hamilton, Tacker's grandfather, and you ought to see him and Tristan, and they'd want popcorn, they'd want pizza, then they'd get them some cotton candy and some stuff like that. And Coach Irv also gives eating advice in addition to that.
Yep.
Do a great job with the dietary part of weight training.
Man, thank you. I think every individual athlete has different goals, and we try to fit those goals for them. Man, we want our athletes to be the best that they can be, and it's up to us as coaches to try to give them that environment to do it. So,
Coach, let's get him to talk about his running backs a little bit, because that it's not an easy job. It may be glamorous because your guys are going to score a lot of touchdowns and get all that, but the workout and the things they have to learn to do, including holding on to the football, coaching running backs isn't as easy as some people think it is.
it isn't. But at the exact same time, when you have a group of coaches that are all good and they're always sort of watching out for each other, it makes your job easy. And that's one of the reasons why, like, I love our coaching staff. And it's also one of the reasons I love our running backs. When, they're coachable. You only have to really tell them something once. They want to know why certain things are happening. They make adjustments. And even when it comes to the weight room, man, every day they come in. Campbell is one of the first ones in and one of the last ones out. And you can tell he's very meticulous about what he does. I'm like, when Cam is in there, he works just as hard. And the cool part about it is they're not really fighting against each other. They have a remarkable bond, which, man, if you've never experienced it while playing sports, if you can get along with somebody in your position, you can have so much fun. And, man, they embody that, and they just continue to surprise me every week.
We do.
We got a joke that it's my joke really, but I always, when our running backs have good games, I always tell them that I coach the running backs that week. But Coach Irv is the attention to detail, and if you have a young running back, they're not going to get as much just personalized coaching as what he offers, and what all the different systems he's been in at the levels he's played in. He can offer the little intricacies of the position. It's not just taking the ball and running with it. There's so many little things that go into it. It's kind of like offensive line. You don't realize all the steps and all the angles and all the things you have to do to be successful as an offensive lineman. To me, the running back position is similar in that aspect. And he coaches the little things, the blocking, the protection, all those things he's able to take and fit to our running backs. And we've had some really good running backs. This is your ninth year?
My goodness, I think so.
Ninth year, man, my 8th year. We've been here about the same time. We've had some really good running backs that Coach Irv's able to mold and take their potential and kind of push them to be better. And just looking at some season stats, Coach, Cam Boyd, 169 carries, almost 1,200 yards, 18 touchdowns. Campbell Scott, 67 carries, almost 600 yards, 8 touchdowns. Ooh. And then you got Jay Mosley, just a freshman, 444 yards, 3 touchdowns. And he won't take a lot of credit for it, but he's put a lot of time with these guys, and they've worked. And they have to be coachable. He mentioned it earlier.
Yes.
And that's those 3 coachable kids that want to do whatever it takes to help our team win.
And we've gotten some good mileage out of – he's a catcher in baseball, and he's tough. He blocks for the most part. He's really a linebacker. And you've made him into a very serviceable H-back or blocking back. Old guys like me that I had to play against a single wing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm serious. You probably had never seen this true single wing. Whitehaven over in Memphis used to run it when Elmer Ray's dad, Elmer Ray was coaching it, and Elmer Ray Jr. was his tailback. Charlie Fulton from UT actually was a tailback at Whitehaven at one time.
Wow.
I did not know
And they tried him at UT at quarterback, and they moved him to tailback after that. But the steps, for example, a back has to learn to sidestep and hit the line because of the angle and little bitty things, and they can't just run up to the line of scrimmage.
Well, look, before you even get into that part of it, they have pre-snap reads. So even before the play starts, they know where the guards, tackles, or H-back is pulling. They know where he's going. They know where he's supposed to block. And then from there, they also understand where they see the pre-snap hole,
Yes.
it might not be there.
That's right.
So if they're going right here, the hole might end up over here. And, man, they're patient. We always have a phrase where we say slow to, fast through. And, man, they're so patient. They press the hole. Man, they're able to make outstanding cuts. And, man, it's awesome to see the growth. And, man, like we were talking about earlier, I think Campbell might be one of the fastest one-cut and accelerate guys I've seen in a while.
Yes, he is. And he can hit you, too, and run you over like a Mack truck.
I completely agree with that.
Now, Cam Boyd's got more moves than a hula girl. I think his hip's going to fall off one of these days.
I was like, but, man, he can spin and leave you right where you're at.
Is
man,
that like you can step on a dime, leave 9 cents change?
Cut on a dime, isn't that right?
Yeah.
There you go.
And, it's great seeing. I'm glad you brought that up because some people – in the old days, we had to know 0, 1, 3, 5, 7, and all that. You got the A gap, B gap, but the A gap might have some big old 250-pound tackle sitting right in there.
Hey, you can't move them.
And don't do like we did in the old days. I can hear the coach say, "Run into the hole that we told you to run into." This is modern football coached by good men.
You got to improvise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, look, and even Coach Reichard, when he started talking about our run game, he was like, "Man, we don't want to over-coach you." He was like, man, make one cut, then be an athlete, and that's what they've done. Man, I think they truly had fun with running back this year.
It's an old phrase, but Vince Lombardi used to tell people to run the daylight. That's still true today, isn't it?
Very much so.
And he was a tough nut, but he didn't care where, as long as you found the seam. You know, in the Packer sweep, you had to get into that alley, and they blocked the seam this way. As long as you found the open seam, don't run into one with some linebacker sitting there waiting to rearrange your bones and stuff.
Yeah, and it's not fun getting hit by those guys.
No, that's like, Tacker and Chance now has picked up the pace. He's becoming an unlicensed chiropractor again like he was when he was a sophomore.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And for the folks that don't know, Chance King has gone through some injuries both in baseball and football. And young man, and with the 2 linebackers we got, matter of fact, I want to say they led us in tackles last week, didn't they, Coach?
Yes, sir.
I should look down at my stats. The coach got the stats right in front of him. He's smarter than I am.
Yeah, we had 3 guys with 5, and then Caleb Newsom, who we'll hear from, had 4. But Tacker and Chance were at the top of that list, and those guys have really been a staple for our defense. And we'll talk about Caleb here in a few minutes, but overall, pretty good defensive effort again.
The only stat, and you don't usually keep that in high school, is Caleb would probably lead us. I call it hurries.
Yeah,
Some people
pressures.
give it different names.
Yeah.
And this young man, their quarterback's looking to find out where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And, he doesn't have a search warrant. He just gets in there and takes care of business. Guys, before we get the young men on, we need to mention last week's game. Outstanding win. I'm going to let you two take it and talk about it. There's some great points, in our running game was super. And we threw the ball well. Now, it was wet, and we missed a couple of passes. But I knew Gage was strong, but he kind of aired it out a couple of times.
Yeah. Gage was just a little bit off. We wanted to continue to run the ball, but we also want to keep pushing the ball downfield and taking advantage of Jalen and some of the matchups that he has. And Walker's really been a good threat for us down the field, and we were just off on a few of those passes. I hit on their season stats, but Cam, 9 for 119 and 2 touchdowns. Campbell, 12 for 141 and 3 touchdowns. And you had Jay with 6 for 67, 2 touchdowns rushing. Those guys, it's not – you can't look at one person and key on them. You're going to have to defend – 3-4 guys on every play. And if Gage can continue to develop the quarterback run, that's going to add another dimension to our offense that's it's tough to account for. Yep. And with the wet field, we knew we were going to have to run the ball, which we want to do anyway. But those guys really stepped up, and I'll let Coach Irv speak on that a little bit more.
Man, it's one of those things that we knew that we were going to have to depend upon those guys, but it's not just necessarily the running backs. It's also the line did a great job. Man, they were able to block well. They were able to move. They knew who to pick up. They knew where to go. Man, and that gave our running backs opportunities to make cuts and accelerate. So, really, we should give the credit to the line. But luckily, the running backs, they're pretty good athletes too.
And Coach Irv said something that later in this broadcast, Coach Bullard's going to, let's just say this. He's going to talk about the offensive line a little bit. Yep. And what's going to happen is going to be well-deserved, and we need to, like I said, take care of that. Guys, any quick thoughts? Big win over Fayette Academy. They hit us hard. They came after us, but we had more stuff, and I believe we've turned into a pretty good rain team, hadn't we?
Yeah, we've had to adjust to that. Yeah. It's one of those games where we had locked up second place, and they were just playing their last game, and we wanted to make sure that we stayed focused on the task at hand. And we talked about it, Coach, on last week's show, going into the playoffs on a high note and with momentum, and our guys responded well. Defense came out and played well. Don't know that did we turn them over?
Yes, we had two fumble recoveries
and we want to take the ball away. We're going to have to get takeaways for us to keep winning and keep advancing in these playoffs. Yep. And our guys just answered the bell again, and so good win. Kind of a business-like mentality they went down there with. Cold, wet, so you don't know how to respond to that. But our guys seemed to – we had less guys wearing sleeves than I'd ever seen our guys.
Oh, we were tough. And we didn't fumble the football, and it was bad, folks, to hold on to it. Yeah, our kids did a good job of really holding on to the football.
Yeah, man, once they started, they put the pedal to the metal. Man, they didn't let up, and I think that's one of the things that we've been – preaching all week, and man, we continue to do it. The kids continue to respond, and man, it's fun. It's fun coaching them.
Absolutely. We need to take a 3-minute timeout. You still got time to come down here. We got people eating in here right now. We've got some still coming on. I'm fixing to take 2 sandwiches home after the broadcast. Gary's going to take one home after the broadcast. And we've got all kinds of things, craft sandwiches, salads, wraps. They got the feature sandwiches, the smash burger again. They've got the soup of the day. They got craft sides. You need to come down here to Hub City Deli on Pleasant Plains Extended, and that's important. Or you can come off of Van Drive, or you can get on to Pleasant Plains and come just down from our wonderful school. Yep. And that's a good thing. They'd be catching me for sneaking out of school if I was a student coming down here and eating lunch. But anyway, we got great food at the school too. But
absolutely,
I like there's a couple of things I like, and everybody knows the Piggy Sue, which they're bringing back. They rotate the sandwich of the day, and actually sometimes it'll be just the featured sandwich for a week or two. We need to take a 3-minute timeout, and when we come back, we'll have one of our fine young men with us, and we're going to do that right here on the Jackson Christian Football Recap Show.
27 years ago, a vision became a reality, and Snookum Steakhouse officially opened. We cut our steaks in-house, and our ribeyes are full of flavor. The steak trimmings are used to make our certified Angus beef steak burgers, so when you order at Snookum's, you are getting high quality. Enjoy our salad bar and mini dessert. Also try our famous family recipe, the Pink Lush Fruit Salad. Come visit Snookum Steakhouse in Henderson, Tennessee. We are open evenings Tuesday through Saturday, but closed Sunday and Monday. Snookum Steakhouse, come taste the difference.
Great American Sports, make sports an addiction. Located at 125B Old Hickory Boulevard, East in Jackson, we specialize in team sports for youth leagues, schools, and churches. We can embroider and screen print team uniforms. We also have sports equipment, Under Armour and Adidas clothing, and anything else you need for your team sports. You can email or call us for all your team sports needs. Great American Sports. Make sports an addiction.
This could be a true story. On October 3rd, a 2003 hatchback struck and killed a deer that goes by the name Buck. I know, right? He now has Buck's head proudly displayed on his living room wall. He tells a different story.
Shot it.
No, he didn't.
And to hide his lie, he took his car to Mitchell's Body Shop.
No, I didn't.
Yes, he did. And lucky for him, they made it look good as new. And as for Buck, the story continues.
Hello, folks. This is Gary Deaton, right here at Deaton's Carpet One. I want to let you know we've been in business for 48 years. Here's what I believe has made the difference. Our lifetime labor warranty on everything we install. Our healthy living installations, bacteria and germs cannot survive in our new flooring. Our beautiful guarantee, if you don't just love it, we'll replace it. It will make your flooring experience priceless. We're located on Freedom Highway, 1000 Highway 45 bypass in good old Jackson, Tennessee.
At Lonnie Cobb Ford, we now give you a warranty for life on the engine and transmission. That's right, a warranty for life at no cost to you. Unlimited time, unlimited mileage, but it's only at Lonnie Cobb Ford in Henderson, where cars really are cheaper in the country. Buying a car is all about you. In person, over the phone, or online, we make it simple and easy. Our place or yours, no matter where you live. LonnieCobbFord.com or Lonnie Cobb Ford in Henderson, where cars really are cheaper in the country.
Welcome to Mann's Wrecker Service. We offer a wide array of services. We are dedicated towing professionals, experienced in both simple and complicated towing services. We offer light and heavy-duty off-road recovery, auto and heavy-duty towing, load shift and load transfer capabilities, and much more. We are equipped to handle any situation, no matter how big or how small. Call today at 731-424-2173.
We are a team composed of highly skilled physical therapists with new school treatment approaches and old school customer service principles. We are a community presence because we know our foundation rests in relationship building and involvement. We are leaders in this industry and we're putting in time daily to develop that aspect of thinking. We're more than a business. We're a team composed of individuals governed by a set of core values. We're more than a physical therapy company. We're a movement in the profession. We are your premier physical therapy team in West Tennessee.
And welcome back to the Jackson Christian Football Recap Show right here at Hub City Deli, the only deli you'll ever need. Great food here, and they've got a young lady that used to be a basketball star working here named Jenna Lane, and thought that'd bring out. Come by and see Jenna, but come by and see the rest of the crew. Open up at 11 o'clock. Some of the greatest sandwiches, and they're so creative here with those things. And we enjoy coming here every week. And like I said, if I was a student, I'd probably be trying to figure out a way to skip school and get down here and eat some in addition to the good school food. Now, we're co-hosting this show, Coach Brian Bullard, who could do this by himself. This man has become a whiz at this stuff. We are going to let Coach Bullard, of course, I'm Coach Joe Holloway. I don't coach anymore. I just talk and run my mouth a whole lot. I had somebody text me the other night at the ballgame, says, how do you run your mouth as much as you do? We enjoy it, but gosh, Coach, you talk a lot. Yeah, I can talk more trash at a $2 radio in a thunderstorm. But here's Coach Bullard with our next guest.
Coach, we introduced him earlier, Campbell Scott, and he was with us maybe week 1 or week 2 on the show. I can't remember exactly, but we wanted to bring him back on, especially how he's closed out this year and how he has progressed as a running back for us. And I'm going to hit again on his numbers. I know he's not concerned with this, and his main concern is helping us win, but these are also great accolades. And 67 carries on the year, 586 yards, 8 touchdowns, twice over 100 yards rushing. And then in the game Friday against Fade Academy, 12 for 141, 3 touchdowns, and he capped it off with the 47-yarder. We're just trying to, run the clock, and we keep moving the ball, and Campbell found a hole, and he hit it, and he didn't stop. And that's been his mindset this year. And in practice, you say, man, Campbell runs hard. And Campbell runs hard on Friday nights, but Campbell runs hard every rep in practice and finishes the run 20, 30 yards downfield. And that's no that's no coincidence that the success has transitioned over into the game. And we try to preach that. And these young running backs, we have young kids that watch. If you want to learn how to run the football, watch him do it. And he's different than Cam. Cam does it a little bit different, but they both give us a different 1-2 punch and a good change up. And so he is 8 touchdowns on the year, having a great season. And I told him, I said, we'll talk more football tonight than we did your first time. You know, we got to know him a little bit the first show, but can't say enough good things about this kid.
And he also is a great defensive player.
Absolutely.
Too. Absolutely starts there, and I'm going to lead off with some a little tougher questioning too. You don't start in the offensive backfield, but you do start on defense. How tough is it coming in when and we do this change of pace? It isn't because Cam got hurt. It isn't because Cam's necessarily tired. The good change of pace, but you've already played a lot of defense.
Yes,
How
sir.
do you keep up the pace like you do?
Usually when I come off after defense, I'll find Coach Irvin. He'll find me, whichever way it works. He'll tell me to grab a quick squirt of water real quick, and then after that, I'm good. I have about, depending on how soon they need me to go in or if Cam has something come up, I just have a few minutes to stand next to Coach Irvin breathe.
Absolutely. Now, you keep your feet moving, and you have good body lean. But you tell the fans how important to be a top-class running back like you are to have the feet moving and the body lean.
It makes it much, much easier to get through the hole. I love the offensive line that we have. It's incredibly well coached. I've talked to a lot of the friends that I have on the team are on the offensive line, and when I've talked to them, I've been like, you guys have, if not the best, one of the best coach positions groups on our team. I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what the blocking scheme is. I can find a hole because they make it so large for me.
You like they make it easy to get the pre-snap read too, and then they take care of business usually.
Yes, sir.
And
it's not hard to find a hole.
That's good. That's important. And he does. I know sometimes I can see him going, and that hole's not there, and you go a hole wider and bounce, and then if he gets on the outside, he's fixing to cow trump you. That's one of my phrases about he will run over a smaller defensive back, or I've seen him take on some bigger guys too and try and run over and be successful. But it's got to be a great thing. The offensive line, let's talk about them and get your thoughts, because last year you graduated 5 seniors that were the starters just about every game except for, I want to say, one of the Mainers had an injury and might have missed starting a game.
Yeah.
But basically those guys started every game. These young men, they got some snaps when we were beating people, or maybe somebody had to have a rest, but this is a completely restructured offensive line. Your thoughts on them?
Love the guys. This past year I didn't get to play too much just because we had older seniors who were more skilled at the position, and when you have that guy who's older at the position, it's good as a second-team player to get to learn behind them, to see their mistakes, to learn from those mistakes, and then whenever you get your shot, to hope that you're confident enough and prepared enough for it. One person that I've thought of the most would be Liam Cox. He didn't get to play much last year, but he was one of those second-team guys. It has been so stinking fun to watch him get to play this year because he is reliable. He knows his job. He's making calls, reading a defense, helping with whatever calls we have on the offensive line. So it's been really cool to step back in moments whenever I'm in a game to go, hey, I need to enjoy this. And to sit there and look at him and be like, it's awesome to see how much he's progressed and where he's at. Yeah,
absolutely. And he is, you think Campbell's doing great tonight talking, and he's very articulate, but at times, and I understand school, nobody ever has to get on to you for talking in school in the way of teachers and stuff.
Sometimes.
Oh, sometimes. I've
yes,
learned something tonight. I was told that you were pretty quiet. Lynn is one of those quiet guys. You never notice him, but then when you go to grade the tape, he's going to grade out high, isn't he?
Yes, sir.
And that is a good thing. Now, how do your teammates make football fun for you?
Oh, we goof around so much during practice. We take it very seriously during plays, but then between the plays, I'm able to goof around with Gage a lot whenever we're in at the same time about something that Coach P said or that one of the other coaches said. It's fun to yell things between plays. Nothing bad, but just getting to yell, cut up, kind of hit each other, and smile. That has been the most fun part of football this year, just getting to enjoy it for the game that it is between the plays and getting to have the relationships with the people that I have the relationships with.
How focused do you have to come into a game? And everybody has different degrees of focus, but do you start an hour before game? I mean, we're always thinking about it, and you're reviewing, you've seen film on but when does the super tunnel vision focus start?
This is an interesting question to answer because the past 3 years, I took it so stinking seriously to the point where, like, my nerves would get the best of me and I would throw up before games.
Oh, you got to learn to relax.
Yes, I took it so seriously to where the game wasn't fun. So this year I was like, this is the last chance I get to do this. I have to have fun. I guess I get focused first kick, but before that I'm trying to be as goofy and loose as possible just to enjoy the moments and cutting up on punt team right before we're done with warm-ups.
Yeah, when you kick it and everybody
Yes, sir.
Campbell, that's one of the greatest answers. And, most people, they'll try to tell you that, oh, man, I've started preparing, I'm butting my head up against the wall. No. Being loose, having fun, and then when it's time to play, I'm ready to play and hit somebody and tackle somebody and do that. Coach, I am so proud of this guy. I got to throw the thing to you because I'm sitting over here beaming about the great answer he just
that
gave
was
us.
a tremendous response, and he hit it on the head, just enjoying the moment. And you can tell, and Campbell won't mind me saying this because he just said it, but I'll hit on it too. You could tell he was trying too hard in the last couple of years, and he's just said, I'm going to relax. I'm going to still work hard. I'm still going to take it as serious as I ever have as far as his mindset, his mentality, his want to win. But it's not to the point where it's causing him to be so anxious that it's hard to perform. And if somebody asked me a couple of weeks ago, what's the difference in Campbell this year that you've seen? And I said his ability to relax and just say, I know my job. I'm going to trust myself to do my job. I've lifted weights. I've done all my conditioning. I've done all my stretching. I've done all my prep work. I'm going to trust myself to do this. And it's been tremendous to be a part of it. And enjoying the moment is something that I wish I could get to every kid that we coach, because they don't always think – they always think there's going to be a next moment, the next moment, the next moment. Well, we're going to find out, because Friday – is a must-win. Now, every game from here on out is a must-win, but we still have to enjoy the moment. We don't put any more pressure on ourselves. We just do what he's talking about, and this kid has done it, and proud of him. And I talked when he was first on about waiting for an opportunity and taking advantage of an opportunity, and that's what he's done.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you wish you had discovered fun about 3 years ago?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I knew he would answer it
so
that way.
Much so.
Now, I need one word to describe Campbell Scott football player. That's a tough one, too, fans.
Fun.
Fun. That is
Fun.
a great answer. He's learned the secret, because if it isn't fun, you really don't need to be playing.
Right.
I'm serious about that. The workouts are fun with Coach Irv. The practices, because I've come by when I can to practice. You guys are having fun out there. Makes me at 70 years old want to get back out there and run up and down the field with y'all. About 2 trips down the field, and I'd have a pulled hamstring in one leg and cramps in the other leg, and I'd be getting the pickle juice or the mustard out. Which one do you use, pickle juice or mustard, for a cramp?
Neither. I don't like either one of those.
Oh, Lord.
He just hydrates.
Do you take a lot of potassium and a lot of –
There was I think it was sophomore year at Fayette Academy, I cramped up, went out for a play, and then went back in and cramped up the other leg. Salt tablet.
Salt tablet. Oh, man. But at least the coaches now will give you water. They would give you 2 salt tablets when I played, and they'd give you about as much water as the thumbnail on my finger.
We'd be in jail if we did that now.
Oh, I know.
We wouldn't survive that.
Think about all the stuff those old-time coaches. And, Coach, you're young enough you didn't catch some of those guys like that.
I didn't. No, sir.
Oh, don't be asking for water, boy. You don't need it right now. Get it when you come out of the game or something. And, the timeouts. But let's get back on football. Coach, you look like you've got a question for him.
Campbell, tell us and our viewers what this team is going to have to do to keep advancing. What are we going to have to continue to do, start to do? What do you feel like some of the keys are for this team, this 2021 team, to keep advancing and keep playing together?
Stay loose and not lose the attitude that we have for all the regular season. Through the first 2 losses of the season, we realized for the USJ game afterward, we hyped it up in our heads. It was a rivalry. That's a fact. But we overplayed it in our heads and made it much bigger than what it was in a game that we could have contended better for. So going forward into the playoffs, remembering how we have prepared just as ourselves as our team, and to try to stick to who we are instead of worrying about what the other team's doing.
All right, just keep playing. Whether we're 10 up or 10 down, we just keep playing football and having fun.
Playing our football.
That is the way to do it. Attitude's a big factor, and we're talking about positive mental attitude. This team, and I'll let you speak on it because you're there with the kids and you see things that coaches don't. This is as much positivity as I've seen out of a team in quite a while, and we're all positive and we're having fun. But we got to remember when we're behind, remain positive.
Yes, sir.
We will come back from that. Now, a couple of quick questions, and I probably slowed down things a little bit, but if you got a good story to tell about practice, something funny that happened, and I'll give you an example. When I was playing basketball at Union, or sitting on the bench, I should say, Big Ed Brawley, we had a fight, and he was going to go out and braid up, and he tripped on the line, the sideline, the black line on the sideline, fell, knocked himself out, and the fight stopped. But it didn't have to be that graphic, though.
Yeah. This stinks. I don't have one that's coming to mind right now.
Well, that's okay. Have you had a good time this year?
Yes, sir.
Then that's,
Loved
you
it.
know what, that's a good enough story. Coach, you got something else?
No.
I've got one more thing. You know where I'm headed with 2 things. Number 1, remind people what your favorite Bible verse is. And number 2, it's your turn to say anything to not just Jackson Christian fans, but like we got people all the way in Kingsport, Tennessee listening tonight. Mm-hmm. They know of Jackson Christian. They listen to our games, but they played for Dobbins Bennett High School. It's my buddy Moose, is for one's listening. There are other people listening too.
Yes, sir.
We've developed an audience all over.
Favorite Bible verse is Psalm 109, verses 10 through 14.
Excellent.
And then it was say whatever afterward, right?
Yeah. It's whatever you want to say to the football fans.
Thank you guys for supporting us. I've appreciated how many people have been at the games. It has made the atmosphere so much more enjoyable. I've loved having the pep band that we've had at the football games because it's been fun to dance to Rocky Top after we've scored and while I'm waiting for kickoff to start. Thank you for being part of the atmosphere and for making it enjoyable for me and for the other guys if they're willing to step back for a second and go look at what's happening around me.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that.
You could say Campbell Scott headed to the 10, the 5, the 4, the 3, 2, 1. What do we have? Touchdown, Campbell Scott and Jackson Christian. I like that sound.
Yes, sir.
I like to do that for you, Kim Boyd, for Walker Ray, for Gage, for Jalen Mosley, and I didn't call him by his dad's name that time. I got to call his dad's games too. That's kind of a treat in itself. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, all I can say is who let the dogs out. And if you can play that music, then you're going to know who is coming. And I love calling him. But a 2-minute timeout here at Hub City Deli, one of the greatest delis in the state of Tennessee.
Southern Family Dentistry's dental laser technology is a game changer for those who experience dental anxiety. Just imagine, no more drills. Look at some of Dr. Nathan Nash's patient results. We provide a relaxing environment to ensure a pleasant visit every time. From a simple cleaning to a full dental reconstruction. And now, prepless veneers. We're there when you need us. Dr. Nathan Nash will treat your family just like he wants his family treated. Check them out on Facebook to see all those loving smiles. Call 300-4545. Southern Family Dentistry, we want to make you smile.
Hello, I'm Wes Harris with State Farm Insurance. My customers love the fact that they can call me or my team members anytime. So when they're in an accident on the bypass with somebody that doesn't have insurance, or they come out of the grocery store and somebody's backed into their car and has not left a note, or they come home and there's a tree on the roof, or maybe water pouring out their front door, they call a local agent, somebody that they know. So call me, Wes Harris, with State Farm Insurance, located right here on Van Drive in Jackson.
Men, there's a new salon in Jackson, Race Clips, on South Highland, next door to Roland Safety and Supply. Whether it's a quick trim or a new look, Race Clips stylists can transform you to perfection. At Race Clips, you'll find all the products to keep you looking your best. Active duty military, veterans, and law enforcement officers receive a discount. Open Monday through Friday from 9 to 6, 9 to 3 on Saturday. Race Clips on South Highland, Jackson. Go to race-clips.com.
Football looks fun. I bet I would have been great at it. The first football playing deer, they would have made a movie about me and everything. Probably get Kurt Russell to play me. But alas, me and my dreams run right over again.
For fast, reliable collision repair, trust the experts at Mitchell's Body Shop. And get back out there.
And we are back here at one of the greatest delis in the state of Tennessee, Hub City Deli, right here on Pleasant Plains Extended, just down from the school, just off Band Drive. You can't miss it. Now, they'll be closing in just a little bit. You still got time to get here. Show will go a little past 8 tonight because we've had so much fun. We finally got Coach Irvin here. I have to give him a hard time about that. We got Campbell Scott, who did a great job, and now, like I said, if I could play some music like I do when I'm in the studio to introduce him, I'd be playing Who Let the Dogs Out, because I'm going to let Coach Bullard do what he always does so well. Here's the introduction of our next player.
Coach, we got sophomore Caleb Newsom here with us tonight, and this is his first time on the show. And Caleb is a kid that we had come one of our open house visits when he was in middle school. And we were fortunate enough to have him move over to Jackson Christian. And the interesting thing about Caleb is when we saw him, and he was a lineman. And I'm not talking about a defensive lineman. I'm talking about an offensive lineman. And he comes and he's leaned up and quick, and we're like, Caleb, is that you? And so he's transformed his body. He does tremendous things in the weight room with Coach. He's quiet. He's not going to say a whole lot, but he lets us play on the field do the talking. And I'm going to hit on Caleb's numbers. 9 games, 37 tackles, 9 tackles for loss. And that's second on our team to Tacker Nash, and along with 2 sacks. And Friday, 4 total tackles and 3 for loss against Fayette Academy. And he is a kid that has really figured out his position, really figured out what we've asked him to do and what Coach Phillips is coaching him to do, and he's a big part of our defense. And he gets after the quarterback. He takes on the counter. He takes on pullers coming. He can get out into the flats and cover the screen. He's dropped in coverage, and we won't talk about I forget, maybe the FACS game when we dropped in coverage.
He saw a touchdown. I will tell him about that, but nothing wrong with what he did. He was there.
Great drop, just didn't finish the play, and I know he wants that one back, but we moved on from that, and this is a great kid, a kid that gets better every week, and so Caleb Newsom tonight, Coach.
And you go back and listen to me call some of the games, and I get excited, and I like to use that term dog linebacker because where I went to high school, that was the most honored defensive position, and people got after it. Caleb, you've given us a lot of thrills. The one stat I wished we kept, but listen, Greg Arm does such a great job, and one man, these teams that have 10 guys keeping stats can get – you've also caught – what is the secret of the hurries that you've caused quarterbacks? And I've even seen one look over his shoulder to see if you're coming from the backside. What's the secret of being such a great rusher?
Just try to go out there and give it my best, and I try to just let them know that I'm always there around them, even though if he don't think I'm there, but I'm going to be there. But I just use my technique that coaches teach me, and basically just use that against them.
The good Lord gave you pretty good speed too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because you're quick getting off the thing. I'm not going to race him now. I know some guys I might race, but tell us now, you haven't been here, but very quickly, because we got some other questions. When did you start playing football, and Coach told us a little bit, but when did you come to Jackson Christian?
I started playing football since I was like 5. Started 5, and I played here my freshman year, so I've been here like 2 years. So I came my freshman year. So, yeah, basically.
Okay, really quick, what's your favorite subject?
Math.
Math, man. We have a lot of math
Yeah.
and histories are doing all that. Can't be a coach, but your favorite teacher. And then, Coach, we'll go to some of the other questions.
Favorite teacher, it got to be Miss Tracy.
Miss Tracy.
My Spanish teacher.
Absolutely. Habla el español.
Yeah.
In my case, poco.
Poco.
Yeah, poco. And I've just about forgotten all my colors. I know we had to wear the Blanco jerseys the other night, or Blanca jerseys. And that I'm not trying to show out. That's it. You've gotten all the knowledge. Guarantee you Caleb can speak more Spanish. And what's your work regimen like? We got the man sitting over here, so don't worry. He's talking right now. What's it like in the weight room and at practice?
It's intense. It's very intense. You know, Coach Irvin pushes us to be the best, and really, I just try to use all his knowledge he gives to us and just put it into mine. So.
Now, this is one that we haven't used much, but how did athletics inspire you to be? Because this is a fine young man. How's athletics inspired you in the classroom and to be the good young man that you are?
It inspired me to be the best. Inspired me to push myself, even though times get rough. Just got to still push ahead and make me stronger.
Absolutely.
Caleb, so last year, your biggest contributions were you played JV for us, and then your biggest contributions were probably special teams, wouldn't you say? So how have you been able to make the jump from a freshman, not on the field a ton, to we can't get you off the field right now? What do you attribute that to? Who or what has helped you to get to the point where you are right now?
I'd say Coach Phillips. Coach Phillips. You know, every time when I was playing scout team, he always corrected me. He knew what I can be. He knew my potential.
Absolutely, and you mentioned scout team, Coach, and this was a guy that I think played a lot of scout team running back last year for us and was giving us a lot of looks, our defense a lot of looks, and he and Coach Phillips have spent a lot of time together learning the new position, and it hadn't always been easy, and there was some learning curve at first and probably some frustration at first, but you don't really know. You can tell when he's mad, but it's hard to really – he doesn't show a whole lot of emotion. I like to mess with him and get him to smile, but because I like that smile. But he's gone through a transition to that dog spot and hasn't let it go. And I'm just anxious to see the next 2 years. Caleb, do you have any ambition to play? I know you're just a sophomore, but we'll call you a junior now. There's only a couple games left in the season to play after high school.
My ambitions are I say go to college.
You see yourself playing football at the next level?
Yes, sir.
Any particular places you want to play? And you could change your mind and who comes to recruit you, but are there some schools that you really got an eye on right now?
Georgia.
Georgia. Well, I'm gonna go one step further. If everything worked out right and you keep being inspired in the weight room like you are, what if the NFL came calling one day after college?
Oh, I'm welcome.
That would be a good thing. And what do you like about practice? It's always important. We don't want to practice. Sometimes we just want to play in the game, but you got to like practice and got to do some things in practice.
Basically, what coaches tell us, they give us the game plan of the week, and I try to execute it on the game. Try to execute the game plan they have for us during the week, and really just do that, soaking all the knowledge they give us in practice. So that's really my drive every time I go in practice to find new ways, new strategies when we go against our players on Friday. So, yeah.
You ever see a guy named Lawrence Taylor play? And I know you weren't even born when he was playing, but he's more recent than you think. This young man reminds me a lot of the great Lawrence Taylor, who is a Hall of Fame linebacker. What's your favorite move to put on somebody to get into the backfield? He's got more than one, and sometimes he just hustles like crazy. What do you like to do to get in that backfield?
I like to do the club rep. The club top rope. I like to do that, and sometimes the swim move.
Swim move. That's always a great move and has been for a while. But this young man's got lots of movement. And remember, folks, he's basically a junior, but in classification, he's just a sophomore. He's got 2 more years. Can you imagine what he's going to be during his senior year?
Absolutely. Hey, Caleb, tell us how you're able to just get after it, get after the run, get after the pass, play after play. And to me, it looks like you're probably tired, but to me, it looks like you don't ever get tired. How have you developed your motor, and what do you attribute that to?
I contribute it to the work y'all give us, and really just natural for me to just hustle. It's just part of me. So I really don't have like something that really just tells me to do like go after the quarterback or nothing. It's just natural.
That's a great answer, and you can see the instinct. You can see the motor. You can see how hard he plays, and you don't ever have to question. You might have to question maybe if he missed a read or an assignment here and there, but you don't ever have to wonder if he's going to play hard. And I talked about Campbell and how he takes offensive reps in practice and in games, and I would consider this guy on the defensive side of the ball to be just like that, and how hard he plays. And those tackles have to look and go, man, is he ever going to get tired? And to me, the answer is no, and I'm glad he's on our team, and I'm glad, more importantly, I'm glad he's a member of our student body and able to contribute at Jackson Christian.
I am too. You enjoy going to school. You're having fun at Jackson Christian, aren't you?
Very fun.
Favorite food at school and your favorite food away? And we're kind of mixing the interviews because, again, Caleb has not been here before.
I say chicken Alfredo.
Okay, I like that too.
Yeah.
Man.
My favorite food is really I'm a big seafood guy. Big seafood. I like crab legs.
Okay.
Oh, man, look at that. Here is a man after my heart right here. Caleb, what do we got to do this week to win this football game?
Just come in with the same attitude, same focus, same drive we always put in during the off season, coming into the season, and just try to like execute the game plan they have for us during the week, and just play the game in our head like Coach P said, and we'll be all right.
Absolutely. Would you like to hear me say he's crossed the 50? He's got the dog linebacker. Caleb Newsom has intercepted the football. He could go all the way. That would be great, wouldn't it, son?
Yeah, it would be great.
Okay, your favorite Bible verse?
Philippians 4:13.
And an excellent verse at that. And this young man lives it, too. Trust me on that. Now, your turn to say anything. Coach, I meant to ask you got any more questions? I'm not going to ask him about his favorite books and stuff. I did a little different list tonight, but I didn't ask that one earlier. But do you have a favorite book since I've introduced that?
Favorite books? I like Diary of a Wimpy Kid. You know, that's an old book.
There's nothing wrong with that. That is good. And do you play another sport besides football? I left that out.
Basketball, but like that's temporary though. It's temporary. I don't really. It's like a secondary sport. I don't really take it that serious, but I like to play basketball.
Well, it's a fun sport. Can you dunk it?
Nah, I can't.
I couldn't either, but you're taller than I am. Anyway, it's your turn to say anything to all the, not just Jackson Christian fans, but I know for a fact there are people that aren't Jackson Christian fans, but they follow the school. Mm-hmm. They listen to you, and you've been asked for. People wanted to hear you talk about your game and stuff. So you take as much time and anything you want to say to all those good folks out there.
I want to say that we win the state, and you go see me on that field come Friday, and it's gonna be a war.
And you will be entertaining to watch because you're going to be right in the middle of a bunch of tackles and things like that. And our defensive unit seems like they've gotten really together. They're close, and they're covering for each other. I've seen them get better as the season has gone on, and Caleb's a big part of that, and I get excited because Coach said it a while ago. You always give that effort, and who has influenced you in your life, sports-wise, coaches, teachers, mom, dad, whoever? You tell us that before you go, Caleb.
My mom, she pushed me to be the best. She the biggest influencer in my life, and I just want to give all shout-outs to her.
Moms are important people, aren't they?
Yes,
my
sir.
mother actually punted the football to me and threw passes because my dad's work didn't allow him to, and That's how I learned to play football. And your mom, she's got to be a jewel, and I know you're very proud of her.
Yes, sir.
Caleb, I know I don't even have to say this. I know you're going to make me proud Friday night. He's going to be in on a lot of tackles. But I would like to say he's crossed the 50, and he could go all the way. Will you do that for me?
I got you.
You got me. That's what I like about this young man. Love him to death. You can go back, and all our games are archived on the Facebook site of the school, the Booster Club, Worthy Road Studios, Ball Game Blitz, WNWS.com has it. You can hear these young men live. If you can't watch it and you're driving in the car, 93.1 is going to carry the game too, so you can't miss Jackson Christian football, Coach.
Yes, sir. We're thankful for the opportunity for these guys to play in front of people that maybe family that can't make it, that can't get out, things like that, and it's a tremendous opportunity.
It really is, and to see some of the finest young men. If we were 0-10, which we're not, folks, we're 8-2, I'd still love these young men because they are giving it all, and family. They're going to be successful in life. We're going to take a timeout, a 2-minute timeout, and when we come back, Coach Irv's going to join us. We're going to wrap this show up. We're going to give out some awards. We're going to talk about some things that we need to, and Coach Bullard is the man with the plan, the Tower of Power. He's going to tell you how to get into this game, how you can get your tickets, and we want you to come out and support the Eagles. But come on out to Hub City Deli in the next couple of days and get some great food. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Wes Harris in Jackson today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
27 years ago, a vision became a reality and Snookum Steakhouse officially opened. We cut our steaks in-house and our ribeyes are full of flavor. The steak trimmings are used to make our certified Angus beef steak burgers, so when you order at Snookum's, you are getting high quality. Enjoy our salad bar and mini dessert. Also try our famous family recipe, the Pink Lush Fruit Salad. Come visit Snookum Steakhouse in Henderson, Tennessee. We are open evenings Tuesday through Saturday but closed Sunday and Monday. Snookum Steakhouse. Come taste the difference.
Great American Sports. Make sports an addiction. Located at 125B Old Hickory Boulevard, East in Jackson. We specialize in teen sports for youth leagues, schools, and churches. We can embroider and screen print team uniforms. We also have sports equipment, Under Armour and Adidas clothing, and anything else you need for your teen sports. You can email or call us for all your teen sports needs. Great American Sports. Make sports an addiction.
This could be a true story. On October 3rd, a 2003 hatchback struck and killed a deer that goes by the name Buck. I know, right? He now has Buck's head proudly displayed on his living room wall. He tells a different story.
Shot it.
No, he didn't.
And to hide his lie, he took his car to Mitchell's Body Shop.
No, I didn't.
Yes, he did. And lucky for him, they made it look good as new. And as for Buck, the story continues.
And we are back for the final segment of the Jackson Christian Football Recap Show. Coach Irv has rejoined Coach Bullard and I'm going to turn it over for a couple of things. Coach Bullard is going to, one, tell you about something special, and I like what has happened. Secondly, he's going to tell you how to get into the football game. And no, we're not going to jump the fence. But anyway, here's Coach Bullard.
Coach, the Player of the Week, and this week's presented by Allison Insurance. One of our great sponsors, and they do a lot for Jackson Christian. We love those people. We're thankful that they sponsored our game and do all kinds of stuff around our campus. The award is going to go to our offensive line, and this is something that I know Coach Irv will appreciate. I know Campbell will appreciate, Cam, if he's watching. Those guys, without that line, those yards don't happen, and they're kind of the unsung heroes of the game. And this line has had injuries and guys step up, and new guys that haven't played a lot of snaps, and we wanted to recognize them this week. So our offensive line, along with our tight end, CJ, along with our H-back, Wyatt Jones. I still consider those guys part of that group.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those guys, and so we're thankful for them. So that's our Allison Insurance players of the week, Coach. We'll add the S in there.
Yeah, well, he's not the player of the week, but I've got to mention a young man, Trent Carrier.
Oh man,
coverage par excellence the other night.
Sir.
I think he was in on just about every kickoff tackle.
He had five in our stats, and 4 or 5 of those came on kickoffs, and that's a tremendous thing and a tremendous weapon for our team.
Yeah, he's no longer the little man. Yeah, he did a good job. Now, next important thing, how can we get inside the football game?
So Friday, we get the opportunity that we never, ever want to take for granted. And that's, A, getting to the playoffs, but B, playing at your own field. And that, Coach, we can't say enough about our guys for giving this opportunity. But playing at home in the first round of the playoffs is huge. You don't have to get on a bus. You don't have to really get out of routine. And so it is the playoffs, the TWSAA. They put a lot of stuff that we have to do restriction-wise. So everybody has to buy a ticket that comes into the game. There's no passes. There's no booster passes accepted. All those things. But there is a GoFan link on Jackson Christian, and you can find that on GoFan. You keep that on your phone. You redeem it at the gate. You show our gate workers. But then also tickets are $10 at the door. So they are a little more expensive for the playoff games, and this is just part of everybody getting how the TWSAA makes some money, and we will still make money off this. But we would love a huge crowd for these guys to play in front of on Friday, and it's going to be cold, but I shouldn't say it's not going to rain. There's no rain in the forecast, so hopefully just cold.
And those of you that want to stay home and watch it on the Facebook, that's great, but you don't have to, because I know personally Shane Cisco is sitting down there with his iPhone watching the game and watching it live. Bill Hamilton does things like that. And I'm just naming a couple people. There's a bunch of people, because when we look over, we can see people holding the phone up and watching it there and seeing it live. Plus,
Absolutely.
we do have the replays on the thing, but I want you to get there, pay the $10, folks. And let me tell you, as a former athletic director, supervisor of recreation before I went back into teaching and stuff, the school benefits more that way than they do from the FanCom or whatever it is ticket. It is $10, but in the old days that you didn't have a choice, and the way they divide the money up, TWSAA is going to take some of it, but FACS and more importantly Jackson Christian is going to get some of that money, and we really want you to. One more time, Coach, give them a quick synopsis of that.
So two options. You can go on GoFan and purchase tickets, and then you can get tickets at the gate. I did talk to Shane this afternoon, and he assured me there'd be plenty of hot chocolate, and I think his wife's going to do some soup, and so keep you warm. And we have a great atmosphere. It's on Southern Capitol Field, Ronnie Fowler Stadium, and anytime we can turn those lights on and play a football game and watch our guys compete it's great, and we are looking forward to it.
And we want to thank Southern Capitol. They've been a lot of help for a lot of things also to our program, along with some other good people. Coach Irv, what you running backs got to do Friday night for us to win?
Man, they got to continue doing what they're doing. They have to make the right cuts. They have to continue to make the right reads and continue to work extremely hard, hold on to the football. And I don't have a doubt in my mind that that's what they're going to do.
Now, do you have to wear any lucky socks or lucky shoes or anything? Now, all running backs have something.
No,
and even though you're coaching now, I used to wear my lucky shorts. I coached with it 32 degrees one night because we had not lost.
You strike me as a guy that would be 32 degrees and wearing shorts. I like it. I like it, Coach.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it at all. No, I think Darby has us covered on the superstitions. But,
okay.
But when I did play, man, I remember like my senior year, I had one shirt, and it was a Lambeth Lunatic shirt. And I think I wore it every single game. I washed it, of course.
Thank you. I'm glad you made that. Because, Pistol Pete got to where he couldn't wash his old socks anymore.
No, I was washing mine.
Yeah, he wore those into the pros, the ones he had at LSU. But we don't do that. What else do you see as important in this contest?
And especially on defense, man, we just have to continue to flow to the ball. We have to be able to make the right the right reads, and we just have to be able to fill holes. Our linebackers are doing great, and I think they're going to continue to do great. And I think our safeties and secondary, man, they've gotten better every single week, and I think they're going to continue to provide that extra boost in our defense.
Okay. Coach, you've got the final words, and then I'll wrap the show up. Here he is, my co-host, and he and I, anytime we broadcast together, we have fun.
Absolutely, Coach. I'm going to hit on it again. Not everybody is going to be playing football tomorrow across the state, and we're fortunate to still be doing it, fortunate to get to do it in front of our fans. We would love for a big crowd to be there. Old guys come out and watch us. We're thankful for those guys that have come before us, and now it's win in advance, survive in advance. You got to come to play because you're not guaranteed that next Friday, and so you don't want to add pressure, but you do want to make sure that the focus is there, especially with a team we've already played once and beat. We got to come out and play football and do what these guys do every week. Yep. Thank you to Hub City for having us again.
Amen.
Thank you for Hub City for providing our guys a meal. That's big for us, and this show has been great, and hopefully we'll get to do it again next week.
Hopefully so, and stay tuned. The school will send out notices also about the broadcast and stuff, but take your phone with you. If you got an iPhone or an Android, you can watch the kids in person, cheer for them, make some noise. Let's have a blue out. Everybody show up in blue.
Yes, sir.
And let's take this first one, and when we get through taking that one, then let's take the next one at a time.
Yes, sir.
We're the only school in Jackson, Tennessee that's ever won a playoff state championship. Now, there were some of the old mythical ones, but Jackson Christian School, 2006, we want to do it. One, as my good friend Bass says, one more again. It's not great grammar, but we do want to win again. Guys, I'm like you, thanks to Hub City Deli. And it is time to tell you any rebroadcast, retransmission, or further use of this game, or actually broadcast without the express written consent of Worthy Road Studios, is prohibited. And for the coaches, for the outstanding players who are here, for my good friend, producer, director, Gary Lockhart.
Great job, Gary.
Yeah, he always does a great job. Thanks for your time this time. Till next time. Good night, all.